Right then, I've basically been forced into doing this video because a lot of people didn't agree with what I was saying on Twitter, which, to be fair, that's generally how Twitter works, isn't it? No one thinks about, let's have a nuanced discussion. It's just an absolute pile-on. Now, the amount of Everton fans, and welcome if you are an Everton fan, the amount of Everton fans who were just going, you don't know what you're talking about, this is the greatest defender I've ever seen. Okay, no. And I'm now going to have to demonstrate why. So people's issue is what I tweeted. Now, in the original tweet from United Peoples, I'm basically saying, like, there are some genuinely generational centre-halves, potentially, in this list of who United have been linked to. Some centre-halves with elite high ceilings, and Branthwaite is the one that is quoted as having the highest price tag. I don't see it, right? That's why I said, is it English hype? The price probably is a little bit of English hype. But when I look at Todibo, Araujo, I look at Antonio Silva, even Ligt, there are better defenders in this list than him. I think he's decent, and I think he's got potential. And I think we've seen two sides of him, one over in Eredivisie and one in the Premier League. And of course, the position of the team that you play in and the makeup of the team that you play in plays a massive part. He looked different in Eredivisie than he did playing in England, but there's still some areas of his game that I think need a lot of work. If we look into his per 90 stats, okay? So he chips in with a decent amount of goals, 0.09, which puts you in the 87th percentile. Centre-halves don't score goals. That's why that is quite a high metric to get into. And then people tell me, oh, is this progressor, is this, that and the other? No. He's almost in the bottom 10% for passes attempted. Pass completion is also quite low. And that is one, but you'd be quite right to say is because of the team that he plays in. But also, all the Everton fans that were telling me that he's this great passer of the ball, blah, 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 the stats are one thing, but the eye test is the other thing. And when I watch him, you know, someone sent me a clip almost to back their case up that he was an elite passer, where he receives the ball in space and he plays a 50, 60-yard ball in between the opposition centre-half and fullback just into space. And I'm thinking, are you going to show me a clip that actually impresses me? Are you going to show me a clip of him, you know, threading a needle through two players? Like, this is a real basic skill. I'm not impressed with the things that you're showing me. Now, when you look at the defensive side of the game, this does look more positive. He's got decent number of tackles per 90. Interceptions is pretty good as well. Aerials won is pretty good. But let's have a look at Tarkowski's. No one's calling Tarkowski the greatest. Someone literally on Twitter compared him to Maldini. I don't know where to go with that. Like, this is a serious case of overhyping. You know, yes, he currently plays under Sean Dyche, and that obviously tells you a lot about the profile of defender that Sean Dyche wants to see. He's very much got a formula, and he will have his team playing to that formula. He's not getting asked to get his head up and start attacks. He's not getting asked to drive the ball into the centre of midfield, create overloads. He's not going to get asked to do that. Dyche wants his centre-halves to defend, dealing with problems, no-nonsense style. So you can look at the stats with that. But like I said, we are going to look at some of the issues in the game.
Let me introduce Surfshark, your ultimate online guardian. Picture your very own digital bouncer ensuring your safety of your online escapades. Wrap up all secure in encryption, shielding you from prying eyes and corporate snoopers. Surfshark doesn't just stop there. It can magically transport you to any corner of the globe with just a click. So let's look at some of the perks. You can bypass geo restrictions and access blocked websites with no hassle whatsoever, whether it's the BBC iPlayer or Netflix from abroad. Surfshark grants you seamless access. They've got 3,200 servers across 100 different countries, so it opens up a world of possibilities. Stream sport, movies, and more from wherever you are in the globe. Enjoy uninterrupted streaming with Clean Web, which shields you from annoying ads, from malware, and giving you a worry-free viewing experience. The cherry on the top, One account, unlimited devices. Surfshark has well and truly got your back, whether you're on your phone, your laptop, or anything in between. And if you're ready to join the Surfshark squad, use the code Howson, that's HOWSON, for an extra 3 months free at surfshark.deals/Howson. Your ticket to a worry-free online experience awaits. And remember, they've got a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's absolutely nothing to lose. Experience the freedom and security you deserve with Surfshark.
Now, everybody is allowed a bad game. And I think the Chelsea game in particular was a bad game for Branthwaite. He was dribbled past twice. He gave possession away 5 times. He came off injured after an hour. But even within that, like the stats of Tarkowski in the game really outstripped him. But there's a few things here which I think you'll see quite regular with him. So let's have a look at this. As you'll see, he gets absolutely ravaged by Cole Palmer. He's left for dead. He's megged. He decides to go to ground again. He doesn't manage to recover his position in time. Chelsea managed to overload, put the ball in the back of the net. You know, this is incorrect body shape on approach. He needs to go with one foot in front of the other. He's too square when he comes to his man, and he's ended up conceding a goal on the back of it. So you've got Branthwaite there, sticking his hand in the air. I'm not sure what that's for. He has his striker get the ball towards him, and honestly, he can block that. Honestly, he can block that. So this is a generational centre-half. I'm sorry. Right, in this one, you'll see him in the pitch here. He's edge of the box there. He's in the D now, as Newcastle are taking a shot. Still not recovered his position. And this happens time and time again. The Manchester United second penalty. He's a centre-half. As we're dribbling into the box, he ain't there. They give a penalty away, and he's not even in the camera shot. I don't know what tactics Dyche's using, but I can't imagine Sean Dyche is telling his centre-halves to not be in the box when you're being countered. We've got another one here from the Newcastle game. This one cost him a goal. So we see him tracking the runner there. This blistering pace that he's got, he does get back into position, and then he goes to ground doing nothing. Anyway, next clip. Okay, we have another one from Newcastle. Ball comes right across him. As a centre-half, you've got to defend your front post. Those are the basics. You don't let balls come in across you like that. This gets disallowed for marginal offside, but what is this generational centre-half doing in this instance here? We see him here inside the box. He's gone across the front post. He hasn't checked his shoulder, and he's very fortunate not to give another goal away there. That's poor defending. So it's not just one game. These are deficiencies in his game. I saw a lot of people comparing him to Harry Maguire on Twitter, and while I think he's, and actually Everton fans were going, he's a lot better than Maguire. I agree, but I can see some traits of Maguire's in Branthwaite. And with the fact he's English and the fact that he's probably going to cost 80 million, I think it's a mistake United certainly don't need to be looking at again. Everton fans are telling me that he's going to Real Madrid. They're running a tour. Here we go against Brentford. Let's have a look at this one. So Branthwaite steams in there, totally loses it in the defence, and Brentford unlucky not to finish that chance and get a goal. Honestly, if we signed him for 80 million and he did something like that on the pitch, I think you'd hear a little bit more about it than you do when it's Everton against Brentford. Okay, here we go against Liverpool. We see Branthwaite there on the edge of the D. Ball goes out wide, doesn't react quick enough, and they nearly get in behind him. Darwin Núñez has run right off him there, and it probably would have been Darwin Núñez if it wasn't for someone cleaning up from Branthwaite's mistake. Right, here's the thing with Branthwaite, right? We've shown a few clips there to highlight some of the deficiencies. I went through maybe half a dozen games and literally just some highlight clips to show some of the stuff he's doing. I can go in more in depth and I can look at a lot more of the errors that he's made. You know, we could even go into the passing, which is, honestly, it's pretty ordinary. It's not on a Lisandro Martinez sort of level. It's not on a Saliba kind of level. It's just not that kind of level yet. I think he's a kid that shows a lot of promise. You know, for Everton are saying he's better than John Stones. I think he's different to John Stones. I think John Stones that left Everton required a lot of growing physically, mentally, and his understanding of the game has evolved a lot at City. You got to remember, when he got to City, Pep basically iced him for 2 years and basically taught him how to play centre-half / this new number 6 position that he kind of picks up. Branthwaite's got some decent physical attributes, looks like he's got decent mentality. I think his positioning requires a little bit of work. I think his fundamentals require a little bit of work. He wins stuff in the air because he's tall. I don't necessarily see him being very dominant in the air. He's certainly not even close to Tarkowski's level of success in the air or as a pure out-and-out defender. I think he probably does leave Everton. He probably does move to a team that's playing European competition. Is that the likes of Manchester City and Real Madrid, the way Everton fans have been carving it up? Not on his first move, maybe on a second move, but like I said at the top of the show and in my tweet, I don't understand how he is being hyped as this 80, 90 million pound centre-half. I do not see it. I hope I've shown some of the deficiencies in his game there. Anyone can make a highlights clip. You have to look at the errors that defenders make, especially the errors that defenders make, because defenders, like goalkeepers, do not trade on their highlights, they trade on their mistakes, and ideally, how few mistakes that they make. Anyway, that's my thoughts a little bit on Jarrad Branthwaite. Let me know your thoughts about him in the comments below, and I will catch you lot in the next one. Laters.
Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.